Welcome back to the Morning Brew. I'm being joined by Maria Ochoa. She is the author of... Maria, sorry, my apologies. Maria Ochoa, the author of Still Standing, a very inspirational book of trials, tribulations, but most importantly, success. Yeah. Maria, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, and you're welcome, and thank you for having me. You know, I just want to say good morning to all the viewers this morning.
I love that you're in your bright red. You're in all the colors, red, white, and black.
That's it, girl.
So, Marie, I wanted to talk about your book, but before that, you mentioned that you are a social worker within the school system, right? How, I know we've been talking a lot about the post-pandemic experiences. How are the children doing?
Well, actually, I have to admit that they have dealt with a lot of challenges. Yes. Just the mere idea that they could not be in school and socializing with their classmates and schoolmates and so, it did affect them. And when they came out of school, you could see that they were looking forward, you know, being at home and boxed in and all that. It took its toll. Yeah. I had students who were contacting me and saying, Miss, I don't feel like classes anymore because, I mean, they stayed away for so long, you know, but during the pandemic, that area there, when we had COVID full blast, we had online classes and so on. Yeah. But that school environment, they missed it. Yeah. So now that they are back, there are some of them who still, you know, piecing it together. Yeah. 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 It was a challenge.
A lot of us were shocked by the violence that happened, but obviously that's because, you know, they're children, they're not fully adult, they're not adults, so they act out. Yes, right? They do. And everybody, as a social worker, how did you think that we, the public, were as understanding of the children as we should have been?
Not at all times. Because what happened when you're a social worker, you develop a personal relationship with the students. And when you do home visits as part of the functions of a school social worker. Yeah. And on many occasions, when you visit the homes, you understand why the children act out a certain way. Yeah. And, you know, parents need guidance all the time. You know, that is why we keep parenting and education workshops. As a matter of fact, I'm planning to do one when I get to school, you know, because today's orientation, we have new parents, you know, the children coming into a new environment, and we want to encourage them to touch base, you know, let us be a community. You know, home has to merge with school. We all have the children's best interests at heart, and there is a healthy way to communicate.
I'm so glad I had the opportunity to ask you about that, because I feel like we forget how important social workers are to the understanding of some of the challenges that we're having in society. Like, anytime I talk to social workers, I get a very strong reality check, you know, and a very strong grounding in what the solutions are. But talk to me about Still Standing. I was reading your synopsis, and I kind of paused at the attempted murder part. so I just kind of jumped out at the audience, I'm guessing, with that. Talk to me about, let's just go into the attempted murder part.
All right, if you want to just get straight into that.
Straight into it.
I was married to a narcissist. And
unfortunately, a lot of people are like, yes.
Yes, tell me about it.
Yes.
And there was so many incidents of the narcissistic abuse. I would tell you of what my experience was. There was no sympathy, no empathy, a sense of entitlement. They don't see you. He never saw me as a person. I was his possession, his property. So, you know, well, there was so many different types of abuse. You know, the attempted murder had to do with, well, there were so many incidents of infidelity. Children came into the relationship and so on.
So you have three sons with your husband.
Yes, but he has
additional children.
He had, because he's deceased now.
Right, yes.
Yes, and there were so many incidents that led up to the attempted murder, because on 3 occasions, I went home to meet different women in my house. So, of course, when you're in a situation, and he was very abusive, very violent. So when you're in a situation like that, my weapon was silence. Treat him with silence. He had absolutely no idea what I was thinking, or, what my next move was gonna be. And of course, you having your affairs, I coming home, meeting people. It was so much embarrassment and humiliation. It was embarrassment in the community, in the home, on the job. You was coming on the job and embarrassed me too, So there was no stopping, to it. And, well, obviously, I came home, I met people, you having your affairs and so on. I still very civil, doing all my household chores and keeping conversation if he asked a question and what have you and so on. But he did not like the idea that he wasn't getting a response.
Okay.
He did everything in his power to get me, hoping that he can get me to act out of character. But it never happened.
So how did that situation escalate to, I'm assuming that he attempted to kill you?
Yes, because he realized now that personally I don't want to have anything to do with him. I'm civil, we live under the same roof, but I am not interested in, having any personal relationship with him. And that got him so angry. Normally he was a person who would attend to the landscaping around. So we always had Gramaxone at home. And I remember this particular Sunday morning, he, out of the blues, just so no loud speaking, no falling out, no fighting, no anything. I just heard, well, he came inside with a rage. With this, I'm seeing the cola bottle right now with this black substance in it. And I'm smelling it because Gramaxone has a...
Strong scent.
Yes, it has an extremely strong scent. And he slammed the bedroom door with rage. So I knew that he was about to be on a rampage. So the children were just screaming. And we were living in a flat house. And they ran outside because it was the front bedroom and started screaming by the windows. Meantime, I was on the bed with his elbow in my chest here. And he was trying to open the bottle with the Gramaxone. So where I was pinned. To move, it was difficult. Gil and my children screaming. Gil and I happened to reach the curtains. Well, in those days, it wasn't the wooden rods. I had, those rods that you buy, the ordinary rods. So Gil and I grabbed the curtain and pull it down. So whilst the children were screaming, the neighbor next door, they live in a high house.
So they were able to see.
They came out. And with the children screaming, well, they came out and they started to make a set of commotion. What's wrong with you? This woman is so quiet, she doesn't interfere with anybody. They even went, one of them went so far to tell him, why don't you drink the Gramaxone yourself?
Oh gosh.
You understand?
So I have to cut this interview short, but now I have to go and get a copy of this book. Where can we find it?
All right, this book is available at Charon's in St. James, Bonds Road.
Okay, good.
It is at Tales and Treasures on the corner of Bombay and Delhi.
Right.
It's at Mohammed's bookstores.
Mohammed's is on,
but it's in San Fernando. I'm not sure if the Port of Spain branch has it.
But the San Fernando branch has it.
branch on the Gulf City Road has it. It is on Amazon.
Okay, good.
Right. I also have hard copies. you know.
Was he charged for what he did?
Well, I made a report to the police station because 2 weeks prior to the Grambach zone, he attempted a strangulation.
Oh, so it's not even once,
it's twice. Yes, it's twice. And, you know, it's because a neighbor came and knocked the window. That is how I was released, because he was applying pressure.
I need to end by asking you, how do you grieve someone who has tried to do something like that to you? Like, how do you heal?
How do you heal?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I need to let the globe know that a relationship with God is the only way possible to deal with this. God has been with me since childhood, and he has been guiding and strengthening me. I know the contents of this book.
Yes.
No human being could have survived this without God.
Yeah.
So I give him all the praise and all the glory, because he has been the mastermind. I was just the instrument he used to put it together.
So my previous guest, I need to end this conversation, but my previous guest, Mtima Solwasi, was telling me during the break, he's like, "Soy, you're going to love this interview. This one had me crying." So please get Still Standing. It's available at Charon's in St. James, also Tales and Treasures in St. James. Mohammed Bookstore, definitely the one in San Fernando on the Gulf City Road, you said?
The Gulf Road, the Gulf Link
was there
Road.
another
well, it's on Amazon as well.
Yes,
and I also have hard copies.
How do we get on to you?
My contact number is 734 4576
4576 734 4576.
I also have hard copies.
Great.
The price, though, is still at a promotional price of $180 TT.
Yeah, that's a good price.
Yeah, that's a good price.
Because I'm very much invested. Yes. Thank you so much, Maria Ochoa. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. I didn't expect...
It has been a pleasure sharing. Because I know apart from glorifying God, because he took me through this, my aim is to uplift others.
And I think you're doing that with this book. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, you're welcome. It was my pleasure.
We are going to take a very much needed break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking to Women in Art. They have an exhibition coming up, and you're going to want to see it.